It's better not to have a friend than to have a friend that will destroy you or get the source of all comparativeness, all the comparisons, all the jealousy, all the envy is pride. At this age, friendships make you or break you.
Welcome back to Teen Talk. My name is Jumena, and I'm here with Father Daniel from St. Barbara Coptic Orthodox Church. I'm joined here with Philo, Samuel, and Kiro. Our topic for today, Abuna, is about friendships.
So I think a good first question is, what should we look for in our friends or friendships?
So that's a great question to kick off the episode with. Guys, at this age, friendships make you or break you. Okay, I can say it again. Friendships make you or break you. So you have to be careful about what are your friends doing to affect your life, what ideology they're bringing to your life, and which direction they're veering your life. They're veering it toward your salvation, Christ, or they're veering you slowly away from him, or fast, who knows. So the first characteristics to find your friends, that they're godly. And godly doesn't mean that they're St. Anthony the Great.
Oh, okay.
It means at least they have the fear of God. They care about God. They care about the church. They care about their salvation. So that's the first character. They're godly. The second thing is you have to find friends who understand the concept of friendship. They're loving. They understand how to selflessly love, not selfishly love. They understand how to be there for you and support you. Also, they understand how to stand up for what's right. So that's the third one. Because sometimes you're doing something wrong, and because your friend is not wanting to tell you it's wrong, they just move you along with it, and you're the one losing everything. Instead of your friends say, don't do that, this is wrong, we can't do that. So having that voice in your life from a friend makes a big, big difference. Big difference.
So are you saying that we can only have friends with Christians, or it's like a broad thing, but focus on godly people?
Friendship is different levels.
Okay.
There is your closest friends, your BFFs. So those ones, I recommend that they have to share your faith and values. These have to be the ones even better than you, so to speak, so they can pull you up. Then the second layer of friends are the ones that you have social interactions with. As long as these are decent, good people, it's okay. And the outer circle of that are just the people that I have casual interactions with, and these don't really matter as long as we have our boundaries and our guard up and we're careful. But your innermost circle has to be people that are godly, that will build you up. It has to be.
I feel like all of that is like really good in theory, but sometimes it really gets hard to find those people. Like, how do you recommend, even sometimes within the church and within the people that really like do like come and that you click with, sometimes they're not always like godly or have the fear of God. Like, how do you recommend?
Well, the fear of God at a high school level or middle school level is not the fear of God somebody have when they're 40 and 30. So you have to understand the fear of God here. I mean it in the sense that they care about the church. They're not uninterested in God or the church. They have, at least they're trying to be in the right direction. They're not apathetic or careless about it. I think you have to look inside the church. I think you're going to find a lot of good people who care about Christ. And even if they're still getting there, they have the seeds that it will grow with time. But I think that's the first place to look. You're lucky to have so many good people at the church that your chances are that you're going to find people who will build you up. As opposed to looking outside, you're going to find a lot of people that feed you ideology and other things that will sandbag you and drown you away from God.
I think it's very important. And also, like, you really are the sum of your friends and the people around you.
You're not the sum, you're the average of the nearest three. So you're the average of the nearest three. So pick your closest three friends, you're the average of those three people. Not better than them, you're just the average of the three.
But how does like discernment and judgment play into that? Like, if I'm saying that, oh, this person, he's not good enough to be my friend, like, how does that?
So that's a good question. There's a difference between judgment and discernment, and that's a big, big one. If I see somebody stealing, and I say, oh, stealing is bad, I cannot be doing that. Is this discernment or judging?
Discernment.
It is discernment. Because I'm saying I can't do that. This is wrong. I'm discerning that this act is not godly. But if I say, oh, this person is horrible, he's a thief, Oh, I'm not like that. I'm much better than that. That's different. That's judgment, especially if I go share it with others. So we have to use discernment, or else how are we going to know right and wrong, right? Discernment is necessary. It's important. We have to use discernment because that will help us with people learning or not learning what they do. Like if I see somebody praying every morning and they pray the first hour every morning, and I want to do that, it's discernment, not judgment, that helps me. Okay, I want to be like that. I want to do that too. Do you see the idea? But judging has more of a judgmental approach, like I'm judging the in person with the idea I'm superior to him or her, I'm better. So this is wrong and sinful. But discerning the act is something that we have to do. We have to do.
So how can jealousy kind of ruin friendships, especially in the Coptic Orthodox Church and beyond that?
So jealousy is a disease that it's really jealousy and envy. They come together. And honestly, the root cause of jealousy and envy is lack of love. The best example I can find over the years. Okay? If your mom, let's say you become the greatest thing ever in the world. Will she ever be jealous or envious of that? Your mom.
Oh, of course not.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Even if you become whatever.
But I feel like parents and friends... Oh, sorry.
But that's the point. That's the point I'm trying to make. Why?
They love.
Because of the love. I think we forget sometimes that we're brothers and sisters inside the church. And we let other ideas and thoughts get in the way that I'm trying to put myself forward first. I'm trying to do that to the other person so I could be first. And that's an act of pride. That's an act I'm trying to position myself as first, as the alpha. And this is an act of, that's exactly what Satan did Lucifer. He tried to put his throne above God's throne. And he continues to use that to detract people and pull them away from God. So it's an act of pride, jealousy, and envy. Because I don't want the person to have what I have, or I want to have what they have. It's either or. It is not like they have what they have, good for them. I'm going to pray that God will give me that too. See, that's a good approach. For example, if my grades are awful, I get 60s. And my friend's getting 95s. Okay, so let me give you a jealous approach and a healthy Christian approach. The jealous approach, I cannot stand this kid. He's awful. And start talking about him and start causing problems with him, talk bad about him. And when we hang out, I pick on him and that people pick on him and embarrass him and make him feel awful. This is jealousy. Good, healthy Christian approach would be, you know what, I need to study harder. I need to actually ask him, how do you study so I can learn? That's a good approach. I need to work harder to achieve that too. I want him to continue to do well, but I also want to do well. That's good. Do you see what I'm saying? So you're using that person as a role model, as an example that can motivate you, as opposed to, I'm jealous of him and hostile toward him. So that this has to change. This is not acceptable.
But I feel like sometimes going with that selfless approach and not really focusing much about yourself could put you at a disadvantage in a lot of things.
In what way?
Like if everyone around you is not focused on everyone else, focused on sabotaging everyone else just to improve themselves. If you're the only person that is following by the rules in any sort of organization or any sort of even business later on in life, that does put you at a really big disadvantage.
But these are two different things. I have to do everything within my means to succeed. Whether it's joining organizations, working hard, studying. This is different, and I'm doing it for myself because I want to succeed. I want to get 95 because I want to get 95. Not because she got it or not because you got it. You could get 100. I could care less. I want to get 95 because it's for me. So that's the mature, healthy approach.
So comparing yourself to yourself.
Exactly. You set the standard for yourself and you beat it. As opposed to looking around. So what if everybody got 70 and you got 80? Does that make you feel good? But if your goal was 95, you're still going to feel, I should have done better. I should have stayed harder. As opposed to, I'm used to looking around. Oh, I'm good. I'm fine now. I'm better than them. So it's not a good approach in the long term. You should be competing against yourself. You should set the standard for yourself and beat it. It doesn't matter what anybody does.
So let's say I am the friend who is jealous. How can I kind of control my jealousy towards my friends?
The first thing you need to do about it, and I mean this in the fullest extent, you need to pray for God to help you. Say, God, I know this is a bad feeling that I have. I know this is a feeling that you don't like. I know I shouldn't be having those feelings as a Christian person. Okay, help me. give me a bigger heart. Teach me how to love my brother or my sister and not have these thoughts. And also help me do better. So that way I can also fulfill what I'm trying to fulfill. So that's a complete prayer. And some fathers say, if from all your heart, if you pray for that person you're jealous from, God will take that away from you. If you get on your knees and from all your heart, you pray for God to be with that person you're jealous from and bless them and give them, that jealousy will disappear. From all your heart, though. You have to do it like you fully mean it. You're going to find that jealousy disappearing as if it doesn't exist.
Sometimes pride plays like a big role in like jealousy and just bringing down friendships.
Absolutely. The source of all comparativeness, all the comparisons, all the jealousy, all the envy is pride. Because the idea is I'm trying to position myself first or have what somebody else have. Not let them have it and I have it. I want to have it. And it doesn't matter if they have it or not. So this is bad. And has to do with pride.
I feel like shifting gears now from like talking about like maintaining a good relationship and now moving on to starting like a friendship. How would you recommend like the people sitting at home that are struggling with, finding friends, maybe not like the whole godly aspect, but finding people that click with them or like that like have the same interests and like are really struggling?
That's a very good question. And it's a struggle that happens. It's a real struggle. And it happens at different ages. Sometimes it happens at the beginning in middle school, sometimes in high school, sometimes even when you go to college and you start going to a place where you don't know a lot of people and you start all over again. The first thing is when people try so hard to have friends, that's when they make mistakes. Friendships normally happen naturally. Yes, you should not ignore an opportunity to have a friend. Like let's say there's an opportunity here to have a friendship with that person, explore it. Like let it see what leads to you. But if you are actively trying so hard to have a friend, you're going to end up assimilating and end up giving up your values. You're going to end up with somebody who's going to drag you away from God. So you have to understand it's better not to have a friend than to have a friend that will destroy you or get you away from God or make you less spiritual. Number two, I think also talking about the friend with, of course, your parents, especially someone from the church, your servants, talking about like the issue. If there's an issue that's forbidding that friendship or making you not able to have as many friends, there might be something you're overlooking, maybe something you're not aware of that's preventing that. So talking to people you trust in confidentiality, they can tell you, hey, I think if you do that, that will fix this. If you do that, that will help that. Or maybe that person could be a great friend. So they will help you. This is what the church is about, to help you and be there for you. So I think the first and the foremost thing is that don't try hard to have a friend just for the sake of having a friend. That's when everybody makes a mistake. Everybody makes that mistake. It's like somebody's trying, for example, to get married for the sake of getting married and not really assessing the potential of that person, worrying about the person's fitness, like if that person is a good fit for me or not. So you have to also assess if that person is going to be a good fit for you. And also, there's a different level of friendship. So some people I might just go to the gym with, and that's a type of friendship. And some people I share my ideas with, and some people I can confide in. So you have to understand there's different levels of friendships. You cannot, some people, they just met, and they everything they know about them and about their family, about their mom, about their dad, about their sibling, the person knows, and they just met. So you also have to use your judgment that there's different tiers of friendships.
So how do we know if like a friendship is bad for us? There's like a lot of people call it like friendship blindness. So
I think the person has to be vigilant in the sense is of this. If I'm trying to go to church every Sunday, I'm just giving you an example, that's obvious. And out of all the Sundays, I'm dragging that friend to come, and most of the time they're telling me or encouraging me not to go. There's no way on earth this friendship is good for you. There's no way. Or there is a girl or a boy in school, and my friends actually keep talking to me about actually pursuing something that's ungodly. Okay, how could that possibly be good for me? Right? Now, we talked before, that's not the time to do it. We cannot do any of this now. So then that friend, there's no way they could be good for me. Or a friend is encouraging me to stand up for my parents and ask for this and that and demand and treat them in a different way. So how could this friendship be good? How? And let alone the other things like vaping and doing this and doing that and encouraging certain behaviors. So it's so easy to detect a bad friendship. I think most people are not thinking of it. They're just going with it And at the end, you're going to be the average of that person. So we have to be very careful. And I think it's just the idea, where is that person really pushing me to be? Is he pushing me to be a better person or a worse person? If it's a worse person, do not have that friend in your life.
Back to your point on having like no friends instead of having a lot that are bad. I feel like especially in this age, it's crucial to have at least like friends, even if they're like not as spiritual, so that like, you know, social like not
Loneliness.
status, but like social norms and like having that social ability.
I disagree strongly that you're trying to have a milieu, a collection of friends that are not spiritual, so I can learn how to mingle with the ungodly. This is the same way of, you know, trying to be St. Moses the Ethiopian first, and then you're going to repent. It cannot be that. You cannot be like that. I think social development is going to happen no matter what. You being in school and working and developing, you're going to develop it. Don't push it. You will learn it. But I think your closest friends, you cannot have any hesitation about their values. They have to be people that build you up. Your interaction with people in school and events and all that will demand that you learn how to apply social skills, and you're going to make mistakes and learn from yourself and develop them and grow them. So I wouldn't push it that I'm being friends with that person so I can learn some. It doesn't work that way. You cannot think like that.
So it's better to have no friends than to have friends that are ungodly.
Absolutely.
Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Yes. And most people have 1 or 2 good friends.
Okay.
You cannot have 10 good friends. Something's wrong. You know, it's either you're really superficial with all 10, or, you know, usually it's 1 or 2 good friends. That's all you need. The other ones could be friends too, but they're a different level. They're a little bit outside.
Yeah.
So you have to keep that in mind.
I think another like really important thing that like a lot of youth do struggle with is like, what role do parents play in like picking your friends? Like how?
I think I would take their judgment into account, especially if they have a point to make. You know that saying that mom is always right?
Yeah.
You know, as you get older, you're going to find that becoming more true, that mom is always right. So your parents will have a point that you might not be seeing. And if it's a valid point, you have to assess it and take it into consideration. And I would listen to them if they have a valid point about something. Okay, then I have to listen to them.
Sometimes it's hard to do this, but how can one flee from ungodly or bad friendships?
It's 2 things. The first thing is like having that friendship in the first place. Like we talked about, if that person is pushing me away from God, then why am I friends with them? The second thing is environment. If you put yourself in an environment that's conducive to sin, you will sin. If you put yourself in an environment that builds you up and gets you where your heart needs to be Christ-centered, you will be also. So I say sinfulness is contagious, but also righteousness is contagious. So you can go either way. It's all about who you surround yourself with. I love how St. Basil the Great and St. Gregory the theologian were friends in Athens. So the 2 left home. They went to college in Athens, so to speak, school. And then they talked about how the 2 friends, building each other up every day, kept them in the way of God. And how St. Basil ended up being St. Basil and St. Gregory ended up being St. Gregory. And they refer back to that friendship that they have in Athens, how they build each other up. Imagine if them being away from home, they were not building each other up. They were actually just, you know, nonchalant about what the other does.
I feel like on that beautiful example, thank you so much, Abuna, for joining us today and speaking to us about friendships. I think we all learned a lot today about like really how to make friends. Please, everyone at home, when you like search us up with the name Teen Talk on all social media platforms, and we hope to see you guys next time. Thank you.